Now, rain in April, that's something that we are used to out here. What is a little bit stranger is this mixed precipitation we're seeing. That snow and rain mixture, it almost looks like hail on the ground. This is the sign of a hard freeze, and it could prove disastrous for our farmers. This afternoon, we've got a lot more moisture expected for the region, and rain isn't the only thing in this party. Up in the elevations above 9,000 feet, we've been seeing snow fall all day long since before the sun was even up. Inversions happen when a layer of cold air is trapped underneath a layer of warm air. So think of the Grand Valley as this bowl, and it's full of cool air. And then subsidence shows up as a lid of warm air and slides right over the top of the valley, trapping all of that cooler air in. This snow's not going to be around forever, folks, so make sure you get out there and enjoy it. Although, granted, we're expecting to see it carry on a little bit further into the afternoon than originally anticipated. The weather is anything but frightful here up on the Grand Mesa, and it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Meanwhile, down in the Grand Valley, Grand Junction finally broke its 260-day-long streak of not seeing any snowfall. But conditions like that happen up here on the Mesa all the time. At least, it's supposed to. Colorado just wrapped up its warmest winter on record, averaging out at about 33.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That means, for the first time in Colorado's history, we were above freezing this winter. Not to mention the fact that we're now in the midst of a historic heat wave that is going to push temperatures to the hottest March Colorado has ever seen. Even though the wind is blowing, you would not be able to tell in the Grand Junction Convention Center. Not only are the conditions perfect in here, they are ripe for picking when it comes to getting a job. Tons of booths available here, and the event goes on till 2 p.m. I'll have a look at your full weather forecast and an interview with one of these people looking for a job coming up in my full weather forecast. Western Colorado as a whole getting back up into those 90s pretty consistently, and then next week maybe even seeing some triple-digit temperatures. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the rain, because I'm not expected to see much more of that coming through. Now, as this Turner Gulch fire continues to grow in particular, we're going to be seeing that smoke shift direction and continue to push smoke up into the valley itself here. So be on the lookout for that, as we're expecting this to continue to grow. Speaking of growing, we've seen just now the Turner Gulch fire surpassing 15,000 acres. Now, we've got red flag warnings in place for a lot of the western slope, and that will be in effect until midnight on Saturday. But we also have a no burn advisory put into place right now across the western slope. Take a look at this, issued until further notice. So no burning of any kind is going to be allowed for the western slope. So fire potential across the region going to be incredibly high. Now, at this point in time, areas like Colorado Springs have seen a lot of red flag warnings due to the drier conditions that this spring has set. It wasn't a very wet winter. So even though areas like the western slope are currently seeing freeze warnings in place, those southeastern plains have a lot of red flag warnings. And yeah, it all boils down to those wind speeds. Now, we are just 6 days away, under 1 week until the summer solstice. June 21st is going to be here before you know it, and it's really laying out the red carpet. And unfortunately for us, the carpet is red because it's on fire. The big story has actually been that snow up on the mountains over the last couple of days, which is expected to continue on for a little while. The northern half of the state got a lot more than the southern half. This is due to that atmospheric flow kind of sitting a little bit further north than we were expecting. But as that starts to drop down later on today, areas like Montrose, the San Juans, even the Gunnison Basin expected to start seeing some snowfall. For that election day forecast itself, like we mentioned, we'll be seeing those polls close at 7 p.m. tonight, and it's going to be a beautiful day, above average even. A little bit of wind speeds for the morning hours. Let's get to the big story here, what everyone wants to know about. Where is Santa currently, and where is he headed? Well, I'm glad you asked, because we got you covered on that Santa tracker. Last spotted, the big old man in red was seen in Ontario, starting in Toronto, and he started to push his way up north. He's now working his way back down south towards Lake Superior, which means, folks, he could be making his way into the United States. A little bit later in the night, he's still got to get to Grand Junction here, but of course everyone knows the rules. You got to be asleep for Santa to visit. We got incredibly warm temperatures, but we're keeping it cool with the coolest performances this side of the Rockies. We'll have a full look at your forecast, and these guys coming up. 3, 2, 1, after the break.
Good afternoon, Western Slope. Happy Wednesday. I'm Dalen Brazelton. Let's talk about your weather. Folks, we have a lovely afternoon set aside for the Western Slope here. The Grand Valley shaping up to be lovely. Taking a look behind me on America's Mattress Live Tower Cam. A nice clear start to the afternoon here with sunny conditions abound. We're hanging out in those mid-60s at this point in time, expected to raise about 10 degrees over the course of the next several hours. But let me tell you one thing, folks, we are right in the Goldilocks zone for temperatures here today. You can expect those temperatures to continue warming back up from that cold front that we experienced yesterday as those clear and sunny conditions carry us into the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, Color Weekend is around the corner, and it's going to be a lovely one for the Western Slope. Right now, we're seeing 66 degrees in Grand Junction, Montrose, Paonia, and Nucla, all in that low 60 range here alongside Glade Park. With Delta, a very stark difference, seeing those mid-40s compared to 20 degrees warmer than that in GJ, and Moab even approaching 70s at this point in time. We've continued to track this fall foliage for the last several weeks now, and it's finally our turn here. Color Weekend, of course, the last weekend of September here in Mesa County, and we're going to see those beautiful aspens really hitting their peak. So if you are able to, highly recommend going out there and checking it out, because it is a sight to behold, folks. Let me tell you, absolutely breathtaking. Now, over the course of this afternoon, we're going to start seeing those temperatures get into the mid-70s for a majority of it, and then slowly start to decrease, of course, as that sun's setting earlier and earlier now with the fall season upon us, with clear skies expected into the evening time as well. Now, this is very interesting, folks. We had a frost advisory issued yesterday, which was set to expire today, and I thought it would. I stand corrected here. We are still seeing that frost advisory in Alamosa, Saguache counties, and the surrounding regions. This has been extended into tomorrow. That means frosts are on the way a little bit earlier than maybe we expected initially. Now, let's kind of talk about some of the road reports that we've been seeing updated. And I also talked about this on the Facebook a little bit earlier. Montezuma County doing prescribed burns down in southwest Colorado. So if you do see a lot of smoke in the air, that is from that. Do not call 911. They are aware of this, of course, with it being a prescribed burn. You can expect that smoke to stick around until about Friday. Meanwhile, over on Vail Pass, well, we've seen some crashes reported. A rollover crash, in fact, right before mile marker 190. And so westbound of I-70 has been closed at this point in time. You can expect some delays happening due to that crash on Vail Pass here. So that's a little bit of an update for your road report. Meanwhile, temperatures within the region significantly warmer in some areas right now compared to last afternoon. For example, Glenwood Springs seeing 10 degrees difference from right now to yesterday. Of course, like we mentioned, that cold front kind of making things a little chillier. So today, as that high pressure kind of moves into the region, well, things are starting to clear up and stay clear. And that's because of this thing called an omega block pattern. It's an upside down horseshoe shape, and we're kind of seeing that extended into the next several days. And what that usually means is the weather that you see at that point in time, and that's going to continue for a while. So because we're under the high pressure section of it, we're going to keep seeing beautiful clear temperatures probably up until Saturday, I would reckon, where this is going to start to break down a bit, and then that low pressure from the bottom kind of pushes up, and we could be seeing some storms over the weekend. As we take a look ahead, though, at that Discovery Auto Group 7-day forecast, mid to upper 70s expected for today, and chances of precip, well, that's at a 0, folks, and then a little bit starting to push in over the weekend, seeming to peak on Sunday. Montrose slightly cooler, seeing the other end of those 70s, and then continuing to push up into the upper 70s for the weekend. It's going to be a great time for the Western Slope, especially as Color Weekend approaches.